Hey guys, Hearthstone update, new patch note. Let's see, does it say when it goes in effect? It might already be out. Anyways, new patch note, and I already read it. Hearthstone update. So it's mostly a wild update, which is interesting. It's very rare that they touch wild, but this is actually a wild patch note update. So I'm gonna go ahead and read it for you. Talk about the new changes, and it's also from what I understand, it's also an art update. They're changing the art. So, and I'm a big fan of the art. Say what you will about the game, but the game has really good art. I think Hearthstone actually has some of the best art out there. The art is great, but it is getting an art update. So yeah, I'll read it for you and explain what's going on. So, it says it's a massive patch, but not really. Anyway, so let's go through it. So it starts out with Battlegrounds. Battlegrounds has a pretty big update, and to be honest with you, I never liked Battlegrounds. I'm a big fan of Bob. I think Bob is cool, but yeah, I just see that's good art. I think that's really good art. And be honest with you, I never really played Battlegrounds, so I think I'm gonna skip this section. If that's all right with you guys, I'm gonna skip this. I'm gonna skip this section here. So the battleground section. I don't want to get to the standard section. So let me get to the standard section here. There we go. Okay. So this is the changes to wild, I think. Is it the standard change? Yeah, okay. So it starts out with the wild changes. So it looks like they are updating the Cthun archetype. I don't think the Cthun archetype got an update since it came out. So I think the Cthun update is pretty big. I think this is the first time it's ever been changed. So that's a pretty big deal, if you ask me. And I actually do have a Cthun deck, so this is pretty cool. This card here seems really good. Discover a dragon, deal damage equal to its cost. Warlock has a card that says basically the same thing. So Priest now has like a Warlock card. It's weird seeing a dragon that's not an 8/8, especially a legendary. You expect a legendary to have 8/8 stats. But yeah, it's basically a 7 mana. It's basically a 7 mana board clear. Even though Priest has a million board clears, they decided to give Priest another board clear. Because why not? So more board clears. That's something we need, I guess. Shaman got more totem support. So wild is going to be... It's funny that this is a wild update, and they decided to give even Shaman a buff, which seems weird. I don't know why they would buff even Shaman. But anyways, so Cthun buff, Priest, new dragon. The art on that dragon looks great. So, anyways, here are the card by card changes for Wild, and it's a lot. It's a big list. I'm not gonna read all of them, but and a lot of these cards I have no idea what they are. I know what Jade Behemoth is, but I don't know the rest of these. Let's see. Acid Maul got changed. Dreadscale, I think I know what Dreadscale is. But yeah, Acid Maul got a change. Explorer's Hat, I remember Explorer's Hat. Let's see what else got changed. Mana Worm, that used to be like the strongest card in the game for a while. Cabalist's Tomb, I remember a lot of people complaining about Cabalist's Tomb, so Cabalist's Tomb got changed. What else got changed? Mysterious Challenger got changed. So Mysterious Challenger, more changes. Curator got changed. Let's see. None of these I really know. Let's see. Jade Lightning. I do know Jade Lightning. That got changed. The rest of these I don't really know. Dark Bomb. Dark Bomb got changed. Dark Bomb used to be meta, I think. Tiny Knight of Evil. I used to run that card. So Tiny Knight of Evil got changed. It looks like was it? Discard Warlock. Discard Warlock is getting changes. I think these are all, if I remember right, these are all buffs. So every card on this list is a buff. They're all getting buffs. So, if you see a card on here you like, it's getting a buff. Bane of Doom got a buff. Bane of Doom used to be meta, I think. What else? Iron Juggernaut is getting a change. Iron Juggernaut used to be a joke for a long time, so that's getting a change. What else? Oh, looks like all the Cthun cards. Yeah, all the Cthun cards getting changed. So that's good. Yeah, looks like all the Cthun cards are getting a buff, which is nice. Or maybe not. Wasn't Disciple of Cthun 3 attack? Now it's 2 attack. Who knows? Yeah, who knows? I'm pretty sure most of these are buffs. But yeah, I'll have to double check. I thought that Disciple of Cthun had 3 attack, but I might be wrong on that. But yeah, so these are all wild cards. They're all getting buffed, and they are getting art changes from what I understand. Let's see. Okay, so this is I'm not sure, but it looks like it's not out yet completely. Yeah, it's gonna be a while before this is out. Twist is coming back. I'm not sure if people played it. The set list looks interesting. Goblins and Gnomes coming back. League of Explorers coming back. Whispers of Old God. So you could actually make a Cthun deck and play it with other people. So that'd be interesting. If you have a Cthun deck, you can actually play it in Twist. So that'd be interesting. Grand Tournament's making a comeback. So that'd be interesting. Grand Tournament comeback. No Demon Hunter. So that's nice. No Demon Hunter in Twist. Finally, changes to standard. So these are all the standard changes. Hollow Hound got a nerf. You can see the new stats there. I'm not sure why. This wasn't really, as far as I know, this wasn't really a problem card. There's a lot of problem Death Knight cards out there, but Hollow Hound I don't think was one of them. But I don't know, maybe, I'm not sure. I never thought Hollow Hound was a big deal, but maybe that's me. But Hollow Hound got a nerf. Costume Singer got a nerf, which I agree with. This was a really strong one drop. It's still a really strong one drop even after the nerf. I think people will still run it. This is a really strong one drop. Maybe one of the strongest one drops in the game. So Costume Singer got a nerf. I think a lot of people will agree with that. It's interesting that they only nerfed one Death Knight card. Sorry. I haven't got like a dry throat. Anyways, it's interesting that they only nerfed one Death Knight card out of all the crazy stuff they have. And they only nerfed one Hunter card. And Hunter is like crazy strong right now. So yeah, they made 1 million changes to Battlegrounds, but they made one change to Standard. So that's interesting. Bioluminescence got a nerf. It's a very small nerf. It went from 3 to 4. And Shaman has a lot of ways to make this card free. So this isn't really a nerf. Yeah. So Bioluminescence got a nerf, but they'll just play it for 0 anyways. So this nerf here doesn't really matter. Thaddeus got a huge nerf. Thaddeus got an absolutely huge nerf. So instead of your cards costing 1, they cost 4. Sorry, had the burp. So instead of costing 1, they cost 4 less, which is a huge change. So here's the old version. The old version was they would cost 1. The new version they would cost 4 less, which is still strong, but now you can't just dump your hand like you used to. You used to be able to just dump your hand, but I still think this is a really strong card. But now that it's 4 less instead of 1, people might disenchant it. It'll still probably be meta. I know it's meta in Warlock, but it's a lot weaker than it used to be. But yeah, it costs 4 less instead of 1, which is a pretty big change. And it looks like that's it for the nerfs. That's it for the standard nerfs. Pretty small changes, if you ask me. Here's some buffs. They decided to buff Death Knight. So Down with the Ship got a buff. Instead of saying if you get a kill, activate the second effect, the plague effect. Instead of saying getting a kill, it just happens. So you no longer need to get a kill in order to get the plagues. So there's Down with the Ship. And if you ask me, I think Down with the Ship is one of the strongest cards in the game right now, and they gave it a buff. So that's interesting. They gave one of the strongest cards in the game a buff. Mystical Terror. Mystical Terror is a really powerful card, and they made it even better. So Mystical Terror got a buff. Very powerful 7-drop. This is a really, really strong 7-drop. And they made it even better. So that's nice. As far as I know, Demon Hunter doesn't really run anything higher than 7. so they don't really run expensive cards. So who knows if they'll actually use this or not. Druid. This card here got a buff. Frost Lotus Seeding. So you can see the changes here. I think the buff was to the armor. So the armor got changed, so it's higher now. So it's now 3 mana. You can see here, it's 3 mana, draw a card, 5 armor, or 3 mana, draw 2 cards, 10 armor. So they buffed, they decided to buff Druid. So this card got a buff. Disciple of Emites. This card here got a buff. It now costs 1 less. This is also, I think, if you ask me, this is one of the strongest cards in the game. Disciple of Emites is one of the strongest cards in the game, if you ask me. And they decided to buff it. So Paladin got a buff. So that'll make standard interesting. They decided to buff Paladin. Tyr got a massive buff. Went from 7 to 6. And I don't think anybody was talking about this card. So it's interesting that they buffed it. I'm pretty sure no one was talking about this card and they decided to give it a buff. So now Paladin is ridiculous. A 6 mana resurrection. That's really strong. That's really strong if you ask me. You clear the board turn 5 and then you play Tyr and then you have to board clear again. So if you don't have 2 board clears, you're kind of screwed. So Tyr is ridiculous if you ask me. They decided to buff Copy Priest. So this card here got a buff. It's a very small buff, but it's still, this card here got buffed. This card here is really hard to deal with. It's a really strong card. And they decided to buff it. So Priest got a buff. Harp got a buff. It went from 2 to 1. Harp went from 2 to 1. And I don't think anyone had a problem with this card. Oh, was it? Oh, wasn't it 2 durability? Now it's 3. It looks like it's 3 durability now. I'm pretty sure it was 2 durability. Now it's 3. But I don't think anyone had a problem with this card. So I think people will still run it. But yeah, this card here got a buff. The Warlock Weapon. It's kind of a whatever buff. The Warlocks I played against don't use it. So it's whatever. It is basically 1 mana draw for free and board clear for free. It's still a strong card, I think, the Harp, but I don't see it as a like a big problem. It's not a big problem card, I think. I don't see it as a big problem card. Blaze Storm got buffed. This one took me by surprise. This card has been out forever. It's a really old card. It's an ancient card, and they decided to give it a buff. Now it's 2 mana. So board clear. Blaze Storm. Blaze Storm is guaranteed to kill something, kill a minion, and it got buffed, which was kind of weird. And Warrior now has ways to make spells cheaper. So this is a really weird buff, if you ask me. This is basically a 1 mana kill a minion, any minion. It can be any minion in the game, and it's with mana cheating. It's basically 1 mana kill anything in the game. So that's a weird. This took me by surprise. I didn't expect them to buff this card. Out of all the warrior cards out there, I didn't expect them to buff this. Stone Skin Armorer. got a lot of changes. It's now 2 mana, and it's a 2/2 now. I think this is a pretty big buff. It's basically 2 mana, draw 2 cards, which is pretty good. And it's also a minion, which is good. It sucks that the stats went down. This makes it, I think with Black Rock and Roll, it's now a 4/4. It used to be like a 6/7. Now it's a 4/4, which is a pretty big stat nerf. But 2 mana, draw 2 cards. That's pretty good. So I think this is actually a alright buff. I think this will require testing. I think Stone Skin Armor will require testing, because there's also the Phoenix card, which also draws 2. So we'll see. Maybe the Phoenix card is better now. It's hard to tell. There's a Phoenix draw 2, and then there's this card which draws 2. So we'll see. Craftsman Hammer got a buff. This seemed really unnecessary, if you ask me. They even put a comment here. Basically, this comment says, well, I'll highlight it. This is a really weird comment. This change means that it now works to give you extra damage after you played Odin. So I guess they expect every warrior player to play Odin, and they made it so Odin is more of a problem card. I guess they really want you to OTK. They really want OTK warrior to be a thing, because they buffed the hammer. This was a really weird buff. It seemed unnecessary to me. I never had a problem getting a kill with the hammer, but they buffed it. This was just a really weird out of the blue change, if you ask me. But yeah, they buffed hammer. They got rid of the kill requirement. Trial by Fire got a buff. This is a really weird change. It went from 7 mana to 6. This is a really weird change for me, because for 5 mana you get 2 minions, right? That one spell. And this is 6 mana and you get 5 minions. So that's a really weird change, if you ask me. For 5 mana you get 2 minions. For 6 mana you get 5 minions, which is a pretty big jump, going from 2 minions to 5 minions. So I think this is a really weird change. But yeah, Trial by Fire got a buff. I would run this card in my warrior deck, but purples are hard to get, and I don't have this card. But I would run this in my warrior deck. But yeah, Trials by Fire got a change. I don't think anyone expected that. I only knew like 2 people who use this card. So yeah, I didn't expect that at all. And with mana cheating, this is actually like a 5 mana card. So this is like a 5 mana. Anyways, new event. This is basically new quests, and it looks like it's for Twist. I'm just guessing from the, yeah, I'm guessing this is from the bottom here. Oh, is that the, wow. Is that the cleric? I didn't notice that. Yeah, that's the priest cleric. That used to be the best. That used to be the best card in the game. The heal, draw 1 card. Huh. Interesting. I'm not sure what that card is. Looks like a shaman or something. Yeah, I'm not sure what that card is. But yeah, looks like there's new quests. It looks like it's for Twist. I might be doing this. I have a Cthun deck, so maybe I'll try this out. We'll see. New Tavern Brawl. I don't know how many people played Tavern Brawl, so I'm gonna skip this. But yeah, new Tavern Brawl. I don't know if anyone played this. Bug fixes. These bug fixes are actually pretty huge. So, bug fixes. It looks like. Let's see. Yeah, I'm guessing this is all the new cards. Let's see. Oh, they changed, they fixed some of the hero skins, so that's good. Some of the hero skins got fixed. And they fixed the achievements. And they, looks like they fixed the phone version. Interesting. They added support for Android 13. That's good. I'm glad they did that. These bug fixes are good. Say what you will about the rest of the patch notes, but I think these bug fixes are actually really solid. Oh, I see. The wild update is on the 31st. I see. I forget where was the art update? I know there was an art update somewhere. I know there was a wild art update. I want to go back and find that because I know that was a thing. Yeah, reprints. Yeah, so some cards will be getting, some wild cards are getting reprints. Now reprints, I'm pretty sure they're gonna change the art or maybe lower the rarity. Usually with reprints, the rarity either goes down or the art will change. So these reprints will be interesting to see. And it also looks like they're giving wild the signature card look. So some of these wild cards will be getting signature art, which will be interesting. Signature art in wild. And I guess that's it. I'm really excited for these wild changes. I don't play wild a lot because of even shaman. Even shaman is just really hard to deal with. You basically need a board clear every turn to deal with even shaman. And yeah. So I'm really excited for these wild changes. These look really exciting. Wow, they're changing Dalran Aspirant. Isn't that a neutral card? Whatever. But yeah, they're changing. I'm really excited for these wild changes. This looks really good. And also, some of these cards can be played in Twist. Yeah. I'm pretty sure some of these cards can be played in Twist. So when Twist comes out, you can actually play these cards. So that's interesting. And yeah, I guess that's it. That's it. Oh yeah, and these new cards here. These new cards here, if I can find them again. These new cards here are going straight to wild, if I remember right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure these new cards here are going straight to wild, if I remember right. So this is a straight to wild update. So you can't play these cards in standard. It's going straight to wild. And I guess that's it. Bye.